So this morning, as I sat down to my breakfast of tasty flax sprouts and organic pears, I thought to myself, how utterly amazing it is to be able to grow and eat all of this wonderfulness. However, flax often gets a bad rap because it's often considered to be a difficult seed, and in my opinion, that's incorrect. It's not difficult, it's just misunderstood. So flax is a mucilaginous seed, and that means it goes sort of gluey when it's wet, and it does not do well in jars. It's very difficult to rinse and drain the seeds, and they just end up as a stinky, gluey, slimy mess, which is not exactly what we're aiming for, right? Personally, I love growing flax sprouts on these terracotta trays, but I realized that these trays are not always accessible to everybody around the world. And so this got me thinking about looking for other ways to grow flax as sprouts so that everybody can reap the benefits. So if you don't mind using soil, then you can certainly grow these as microgreens. But in this experiment here, I'm looking for ways to grow them as sprouts. So you get to eat the whole thing. There's no cutting, no harvesting. You just eat them as sprouts, the whole thing. So I have a few options here that I believe will probably be accessible to most people. So this is a flour sieve. This is a hydroponic tray. There are loads of these online. I've seen them loads of different places. And this is a hemp bag. Now, if I wanted to grow flax as microgreens, I could definitely do it on the on this tray here, and I could use the hydroponic tray as well. I just let the seeds germinate undisturbed, apart from regular misting. But since I want to grow sprouts, I think I will probably have to treat them slightly differently. I don't know how this experiment will come out, but who knows? Maybe we'll find a really good solution. So I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of flaxseed. So 3 teaspoons of flaxseed, that works out to be 12 grams or just over 1 tablespoon. I'm going to soak them for 20 minutes because that seems to work well for me. And yeah, let's see what happens. So I gave them a quick rinse in this little strainer, and now I'm leaving them to soak 20 minutes. Okay, so I soaked 12 grams of flaxseed for each tray, and 12 grams works out at just over 1 tablespoon of seed, or 3 teaspoons. And I soaked the seeds for 20 minutes in a glass of water like this. And then after 20 minutes, I just rinsed them a little bit in my strainer just to get rid of some of that gluiness, really. And then after that, I spread them out onto the trays. So let's have a closer look. These are on the hydroponic tray. And these are on the flour sieve. This is the hemp bag. It looks a little bit grimy, but it's just stained. It's clean because I boil it every time, just before I use it each time. So I know that you can grow mucilaginous seeds on top of it, but I've never actually tried growing mucilaginous seeds inside. So that's what I'm doing this time. So I just put my hands in and I spread them out as best I could so that they're not all clumped together. And here they are on the geo trays. So now all I need to do is to cover them up, and then every morning and every evening I will come back and mist them. So the first couple of days I think I will just mist them to just as they're germinating, and then after that I will see what to do. I will make a decision. So to cover them, I'm not going to cover them so the tray is touching them. I'm just going to cover them like this, like that. And then cover this one with a plate. And then the geo trays, I will stack. Because I want everything to be growing in darkness. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow and yeah, let's see if we can find an alternative to the geo trays. Good morning, Sprouters. So today is day 7 of the Flax Sprout experiment. And straight off, as you can see, these 2 trays are empty because the sprouts didn't do as well as I was hoping. And I just composted the lot. Here, however, they did really well. So let's have a quick look. So these are on the geo tray. And as I expected, they grew beautifully. They're yellow because they've been in darkness, and that also makes them, keeps them nice and sweet. Let's have a look at the sprouts in the bag. And as you can see, they've grown really well. So basically, I put in the soaked seeds. I just put them inside the bag and I spread them out as best as I could. And then I left them on this tray like this. And every morning and every evening, I just sprayed the bag wet. I didn't drain it as I would usually drain it, because usually you hang the bag like this and to drain your sprouts. But because these are mucilaginous seeds, I figured that if I did that, all the seeds would just sit at the bottom of the bag in a clump, and it would be like growing them in a jar, I imagine. So they'd all get stuck together and they wouldn't be able to germinate. So I just left them spread out like this and sprayed them every morning and every evening. And sometimes, like maybe once a day or every morning and every evening, I would spray them and then turn them over and then spray them again. And just so I was sort of moving them around a little bit, but not so they were falling to the bottom of the bag or anything like that. So I'm really quite pleased with the results of these. So now I'm going to remove them and weigh them and see what the yield is, because the amount of seeds that I use is the same. So let's get them out and see how much they weigh. Okay, so I'm just going to pop them on to some paper, just to make sure that I'm not weighing any excess water or anything. Just let them sit on there a second. Okay. Yeah, they're not very wet anyway. Okay, let's weigh them. Okay. 69 grams. Let's see if we can add another one. No, 69. Okay, 69 grams. Okay, I think this is going to be tricky doing it with one hand, so I'm going to have to put the phone down and let's see. Let me see what I can do with one hand. Not a lot. I think I need to turn the bag. Oh, here they come. No, I think I'm going to have to turn the bag inside out. So you can see that there are quite a few seeds, ungerminated seeds. They're not all ungerminated seeds. Some of them are empty seed holes. And I didn't have so many empty seed holes here because when I rinse my seeds on the geo, when I'm growing flax or sprouts and I rinse them quite heavily, I actually pour off the empty seed holes. So that's why we don't have them here. But in this case, I couldn't. You know, they're obviously, they're all going to be stuck here. So anyway, let's have a look. I shall just pop these onto a piece of paper, just dry them off a little bit. Let me just do that. These are also a little bit greener, as you can see, because even though they were inside a bag, obviously the lights, still some light came through, whereas these in the geo tray, no light came through at all. So I probably could have put another tray on top of this one to keep it in complete darkness. But to be honest, I was a little bit wary about airflow. That's why I left them like this. Okay, right, let's weigh them. Okay, 43, 42. So yeah, definitely the yield is a lot better on the geo. But you know, it's not horrible. I mean, if you have no other alternative, then I guess it's doable. Anyway, this is the result. And so what was this, 69? Yeah, these are about 20 grams, a little bit more than 20 grams more than these. So a better yield. But if you don't have a geo tray and you can't get one, or for whatever reason you didn't have one, this could be a possibility, a different option. Okay, so I put the sprouts together and gave them a quick wash and spin in this OXO salad spinner. Before I did that, I had a quick taste. The ones grown on the geo tray, so the yellow ones, they are sweeter than the ones grown in the bag. The ones grown in the bag, like I said, they were exposed to more light. The light must have gone through the bag. And when they go green, when they turn green, the taste does change a little bit. So they're definitely sweeter if you grow them in complete darkness. But they're lovely. They're nutty and delicious. So how to enjoy them? What's the best way to eat them? Well, personally, for me, I love eating my sprouts literally as they are, as Mother Nature made them. No dressing, nothing, just by the handful, usually straight out of the salad spinner. I'm not fussy, but they're also really lovely added to salads, added to soups, and I particularly love having them for breakfast with fruit. And lots of people ask me, do you really eat the skin of kiwis? Yes, I do. If the kiwi is organic, I use my coconut fiber brush, give them a really good scrub, and a lot of that hairiness just comes away. So yeah, I do eat the skin. And this bowl is not going to be big enough. As always, I have to resort to a bigger bowl. Buon appetito!